Hey guys, so I've been wanting to make one of these videos for a while, and this is going to be an example solves video, but I'm going to talk about the why behind a lot of the decisions that are made, just to kind of conceptualize essentially what makes times faster and why certain decisions are made. So I will post the scrambles in the description, but this video is going to be more about making certain decisions during a solve. So I'm going to be using white and yellow because that's what I do. So a decent white cross on the scramble, and for me, deciding on which cross to do kind of boils down to what's the easiest to execute right after starting the timer, as well as, obviously, if I can see my first pair. So in terms of this one, I'm going to do something a little bit odd, but I see my cross pieces. So the way I'm going to do it is, because this is going to be quick in my head, so I'm going to do F and B prime to kind of move that way, and then R, B2, R prime, and then again a D, and like that. And I was a bit lucky to have this pair that I didn't initially see, but the reason is I did that is because I knew it was going to be fast because it was only involving R, F, B, and D, so I didn't have to kind of re-rotate my hands or anything. So just simply I can insert that pair. I was from this angle, I probably would have inserted that with that move, so I can pair up that and insert it in the back. And the reason that I do that is because I like to have my first two F2L pairs either solved on the left or in the back, because it makes look ahead a lot easier. In terms of this, the reason that I would not solve this first is because I would be left with a pretty bad case for red-green, and I know that the piece is back here, so instead I'm actually going to take it out and do it that way. And this isn't a great case, but they're both on the U layer, so it's easier to see. And we have a flipped corner with a full solved white side, so we can actually skip the OLL. So, and then we get an ARPRIM. Okay. So I have a lot to work with here. I have a half-made yellow cross with the last piece here and the piece in the back, and free pair. I don't think I would actually do that though, solely because white looks like it could be a cross that's made a little bit easier, and I can kind of see what I would do with my first pairs. So I'm actually going to go with white here because it'd be quicker. So I would do that. And again, it just seemed easier in my head, and the pair would have been a little bit more trouble than I felt that it was worth to actually preserve. So I can go right into this pair. It's pretty straightforward. And then I pretty much have everything in front of me to work with. I initially did see, as I was making this pair, I did see the red, blue, white, so I could make that. However, upon further inspection, I can actually pair up both of these at the same time and do that way and multi-slot. And I think in an actual solve, I probably wouldn't do that because I saw this one first, and I would have had to see it later in the solve. So then I can do this pretty quickly and sledgehammer it to get some edges. This COLL isn't that great, so I'm just going to do the regular OLL and get a J-perm. Okay. Both crosses are a bit awkward to execute. I think what I would probably go with here is, because I see this pair here, I can actually put it down before I start anything, so it'll be on the bottom, and I will do RFR to solve part of it, and then move this over, so now I have this pair right in front of me. And I'm actually going to do something that's kind of antithetical to what I was talking about earlier with solving my F2L pairs on the left or the back. I'm going to insert this pair, but at the same time I'm actually going to multi-slot and insert the blue-red pair as well, because I can go right into it. So insert and do an algorithm that solves pretty much both of them. And again, the only reason I did that is because it was quick, and then I'd be able to only do one rotation and have everything on the right side. So although it is in the front, I wouldn't have to do much for the other side. So in this case, I did have this. I do have a couple things that I could do here, but what I would probably do, which would make the most sense, would be to just kind of insert it like that. And again, now I'm left with this case where I could do the algorithm that I did earlier, but because this is a half horizontal bar, I would be left with no edges. So I'd probably just pair them up and insert them regularly, but to orient some more edges, let's just go ahead and sledgehammer. And I'm pretty lucky, so that's just a pretty easy ZBLL. Okay. So again, we have a nice pair here, but I feel that it's going to be, again, more trouble than it's worth, so I don't think I'm going to worry too much about preserving it. White pretty much isn't any good at all. I mean, I could do it. Yeah, I think I actually might do white, because, again, it can be quick for me, and I can save this pair. So I would do U. So I'm left with this. I didn't leave myself with anything really great, but I do have 3 pairs right in front of me. So I think the easiest thing to do would actually be to solve the blue-orange first. And I can go right into pairing up this one. And I have all my edges kind of on the top, so I can just keep on solving. I would probably go with this one first, because then this piece will be on the U layer. And finish. And this COLL is also terrible, but I don't really want to get a diag swap, so we'll go ahead and give ourselves a U-perm. Now that really wasn't an ideal solve. I think I could have done a little bit better there. But like I said, some decisions, aren't obviously the best, and it's really just taking a gamble as to solving the faster cross or going sometimes out of your way to preserve a pair to make the solve easier. And there's no one right solution. It's just whatever works best for you, and I find that that works best for me. So, last scramble. This really isn't that great because I don't like this at all. Neither cross is that good, unfortunately. The most intuitive way to do this would probably be that. And I don't love that because I don't really give myself anything. I had that. I mean, there's nothing I can really do. Easiest way to solve this probably would do the orange-green first, and then go right into orange-blue. And again, I'm solving on the left, which I really don't like doing, but fortunately I did give myself a decent last 2 cases, so I can do that one real quick. Go into the last one, and the YOLO, and an A-perm. So the last 2 I wasn't too pleased with. There definitely was some better things I could have done, but obviously in the case of only being able to do 2 crosses, I'm a bit limited. But the point of this video was really just to talk about how there really isn't one direct way that you should solve. It's really what works best for you. But the biggest tips that I can give that are pretty much universal across the board is that you want to really focus on look ahead, and I find that the best way to do that is to you don't have to always do this, but try to focus on solving your first 2 pairs in the back, because it'll really help you with look ahead. I find that if you're solving your pairs in the front, then you'll have to rotate twice, and pausing really does add to your time. It can add anywhere from 1 to even 3 seconds, which, when you're getting sub 10, that's a lot of time. So I find that going out of your way to really save an F2L pair sometimes isn't really necessary, but again, if it works for you and you find that you pause less, then so be it. So thanks for watching, and I'll post the scrambles in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.